Hi everyone, today's theme is winter nail designs, and joining me this week is Girly Nail 66 and Unya's Tan Cute. This is my design and I'll show you how I created it. Let's get started. I'll be using Base Coat by Maxus for healthy, strong nails. And I'll be using Maxus Finito Top Coat for a long-lasting manicure. Today I'll be using Holo Taco Nail Polishes, Sugar Rush, Electric Sweetener, and Orange Drink. The stamping polish I'll be using is by Hit the Bottle, and it is called As Black as Night. I'll be using Maniology's sticky base coat to help the stamped images stick to the nail better. And I'll be using Maniology's smudge-free top coat, and this helps protect the stamped image from smudging. I'll be using my favorite stamper. It's the Ice Cube Stamper by Maniology, and it is nice and tacky, so it helps pick up the image really well. Along with the Maniology Ice Cube Stamper, I'll also be using the Moira Supersizer Stamper. The stamping plate I'm using is by Uber Chic Beauty, and it's Holiday Spirit. I'm going to use this plate, and I'm going to use this snowman image face, which might be a little big, so we'll shrink that down. And these cute little mittens. Yeah, that'll work. Okay. So just get the full effect of the Supersizer Stamper. When you're shrinking it, there's many different sizes depending on how far to the right you turn it. Anyways, all the way is going to shrink it the most. And then there's other levels. And then it popped off. Okay. Anyways, put it back down, turn it to the left. There's little grooves right here. And you just pop the head into the groove and turn it to the right, and that secures it in place. And then you can turn it to the left or turn it to the right and figure out what size you want. I'm not really actually sure what size I want. And there is a trick to using this. Stamping polish dries super fast, so when you pick it up, you have to release it right away. Otherwise, the stamping polish will dry in the head, and when you do release it, it will become all cracked. So you want to do it when it's still a little bit wet. There's also, I guess there's also some slow drying stamping polishes, which actually I have, but I haven't used them yet. So, but I'm not going to start today. Maybe that's a better stamping polish to use with this. And usually I set mine up ahead, so there's not a problem with it being too wet when I put it on my nails. But anyways, right now we are going to use the Supersizer Stamper. I'm going to pick up this face. Don't know what size I want. You know what? I think I'm just going to go for the smallest size. That's what we'll do right now. Have it kind of in low light here because of the glare off the stamping plate. I want you guys to be able to see this good. And then you can just pop it off. And yeah, I think that's actually going to be a perfect size for what I want. This could be so cute. Okay. All right, ignore that part. All right, so now we're going to get these other two mittens. I'm going to use those. Now, the thing about the Supersizer, they now have, they sell just the head part. So you actually only need one of these Supersizer stampers, and then you can buy a few extras if you like to set up your stamps ahead of time like I do. But I don't have any of those yet. I'm waiting for like a sale at some point from Moira. I mean, not Moira. What's Up Nails, where I purchased my supersizer stampers. But right now we're going to get this image right here. And I'm going to use my ice cube stampers to pick up these, my Maniology ones, because I have a bunch of these. And I'm going to pick up 2 of this image. Great, now the lights are on. And we're gonna take a look at this cute little snowman face. I love this. This is super cute. Oh my gosh. All right. And then we've got these little mittens. Let's see. I want 1 mitten on 1 hand, 1 finger. So I'm gonna go with this mitten. Which mitten am I going with? I'm going with that mitten right there. Let's try to get rid of this other mitten. I just know I'm going to mess this up. Alright, so get rid of part of that, turn it over, and get rid of the rest of it. Alright, so that's a 1 mitten I want. And then the other mitten, I decided to go on this hand. So I want that mitten. So it's going to get rid of that. All right. That should work. Okay. Now we're just going to color these in. I'm going to put a little bit of electric sweetener right there on the mat right here, and then I'm just going to color that in. So this is a wider brush that I have. It's a nail art brush. And then I'm going to use a smaller detail brush. Go into the smaller parts. And maybe go around the edges. That's really just kind of best practices for coloring in your little image, if you want to make sure that you don't go outside the lines. Okay, that looks pretty good actually. I think I could use a little bit more right up here. And the polish is already starting to dry. So you would just put just a little bit on the mat because it dries up pretty quickly. And actually you don't really need even a lot to do this. You just need a very little bit. Alright, that looks good. Alright, love it. This is the second one, and you can use a little bit of a little brush. So I was afraid that it would just take me way too long to fill it in. But if you put like a lot of it on your brush, then you're okay to get the middle wider spots. And then just a little bit, and you can still get your detail in the small spot and around the edges. I
think I just went outside the line there though, but that's okay because I can fix it when I put it on my nail. Oh, not too bad though, actually. Looks like I need a little bit more over here though. Remember that polish needs to build up to be able to become pretty opaque. So, I went over the spot made it light. Don't go over the spots too much while it's still wet, or you're just dragging the polish around. So that is going to be okay. And now we'll work on the nose for a snowman. And what I do with my brushes is I will clean them off in acetone. However, I wash them then with soap and water, just some hand soap. And that removes the acetone that's, you know, left over on the brush. And my brushes literally have lasted forever. I don't think I've ever had to replace a brush. If you don't wash that acetone out though, it is gonna get hard. And you might need to replace your brushes after a while, which you don't want to do. There we go. All right, that looks great. Put that aside. The base coat is dry, so I am now going to put Sugar Rush on all of my fingers. I thought this would make a really nice base for a winter kind of snowman manicure. So I'm just going to put a couple of coats on that of this on all of my nails and come back. Since this video is kind of full of tips, we'll just add one more. These new brushes from Holo are wider than their old wide brushes and a little bit fluffier. So what I do when I come to a thin nail is I just tilt my brush on its side one way and then tilt it the other way. And then I can usually just go down the middle. And that's how I do a thin nail. So if any of you have thin nails, don't be afraid of the wide brush. It still works fine. I like these wider brushes. For some reason, like, the polish doesn't run down the stem of the brush and flood the cuticles. Plus, it's easier to get up close to your cuticle area if you have a rounded brush instead of a square brush. There is 2 coats, and I think that's looking pretty good in 2 coats. I like to use the sticky base coat on top of my nails, and I do that because it helps grip the stamped image off the stamper and stick to the nails better. So I'm just going to let this dry for a few minutes, and then we can stamp on it. Okay, so now we can stamp the images on the nails. There we go. I think that looks super cute. Now I'm just putting a smudge-free top coat over the top of the stamped images, and this just seals it in and protects the stamping for when you put your regular top coat on. Some top coats will smear stamping or other nail art designs, so I want to make sure that that doesn't happen. And then I'll just let this dry. It usually only takes a couple minutes to dry. And then I put on the Maxus top coat. Now I'm just putting on the Maxus Finito top coat. which I love because I don't have to worry about chipping. This is the finished manicure. I love how it turned out. This is the first time I've done anything like this with the snowman face and the mittens, but I really, really love it. I hope you enjoyed the video and the tips and information. Thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.